America great again. Thank you, Arizona. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Volatility of the U.S. dollar is a harsh reality. We've seen the stock market come across ramped losses even over the past 20 years. There's a need for an alternate financial strategy. How about gold or silver? Welcome to God's Money. With the PSI security platform, you can build your wealth and secure your future with precious metals that withstand the test of time. Gold and silver are the secrets the wealthy have used to accumulate and protect their wealth for decades. God's Money works with a team of world-class experts to deliver rare, high-quality, unique precious metals at impressive prices. Don't have the money to invest in silver and gold? No problem. Join our Coin of the Month program. With this amazing program, we will send you a little silver on a monthly basis. Consider this opportunity before it's too late. Act now. Go to www.godsmoney.info.
Far distant land of common sense, a place where we all once lived. You'll find the Conservative College with Professor Toto. It is here where the foundational principles of our great republic are still taught and true patriots are still educated in the hallowed halls of this school of hope. Just like the iconic puppy from The Wizard of Oz, who found great joy in pulling back the curtain on the lies of the wizard, so does Professor Toto. Grab your seats and welcome to the Conservative College. Class begins now.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome, 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 welcome. All over the United States. Good evening. Howdy, howdy, howdy. I hope you're all doing well tonight. Good to see all of you. Tuesday night, 8 o'clock Central on the Gulf Coast of Mississippi. I'm glad to be back with you. It's been a few days since I've seen you. I hope you enjoyed your Independence Day celebrations all over the country. And tonight I'm coming to you. As you can tell, I'm not in my studio. I actually, my mother asked us to come and spend a few days with her. So I'm at Mama's enjoying some family time with Mama. And me and her's been fighting all day today because she's a Democrat and I'm MAGA. And we've been fighting all day. That's right. We've been fighting. I've been trying to convert her. She's been trying to convert me. Oh, but love conquers all. Amen. Oh, wow. But no, I don't ever get to spend any time with my mother. And I've enjoyed being here for the last 2 days. And we're going to be here for a few more days. I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to come because we had a wonderful brother in our church. He's from our Tennessee congregation that fell off of the roof, and we was afraid. Of course, we wasn't afraid. We knew the Lord was going to touch him, but it looked like that he was going to be paralyzed from head to toe. And so we had a day or two there. We didn't know if we would have to fly up to Tennessee. So we delayed coming here. But to God be the glory, Yahweh be the glory. Our precious elder Alvin Beal is doing a good bit better. Still got a long way to go, but we're seeing great signs there. So as a pastor, you can never plan a getaway of any kind because you serve the people. And so long story short, we was able to come spend a few days with Mother. And so we're enjoying it. And I would let her get on the camera, but if she did, she would try to convert y'all over to Biden, and we would just have a free-for-all tonight. So, well, my Lord, we got so much to talk about tonight, children. Woo! So much going on. Now, I've been busy, visiting with family, my little nieces and what have you, whatnot. And so I haven't really been able to put together a very detailed show like I normally do. Technically, I'm on vacation, I suppose. But, I can never get a vacation from my calling, my duty as Professor Toto. And but there's a few things I do want to talk about tonight that I need to explain, help some of you navigate through it. As you know, Donald Trump, there's some of you worried about Project 25. So we're going to talk about tonight Donald Trump's stance on abortion, the new Republican platform on abortion. We're going to talk about Kamala Harris. We're going to talk about several things that I want to just clear up. So I may not be here long tonight, but there are a few things that I want to teach about. And first of all, as you know, they have come after Joe Biden. The media has, in a bad way. They've turned on him just like that overnight, literally, just like that. I was just watching, and I saw Jake Tapper, literally, to where Biden. They've all turned on Joe Biden. Now, my question to you, I tell you what, I'm going to play you a little montage before I ask you that question tonight. And I'm going to show you what's going on out there, just so you can understand how bad it is that they have turned on Joe Biden.
If you can be convinced that you cannot defeat Donald Trump, will you stand down?
It depends if the Lord Almighty comes out and tells me that, I might do that.
And if Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries and Nancy Pelosi come down and say, we're worried that if you stay in the race, we're going to lose the House and the Senate, how will you respond?
Look, I mean, if the Lord Almighty came down and said, Joe, get out of the race, I get out of the race, the Lord Almighty's not coming down.
I agree that the Lord Almighty is not going to come down, but if you are told reliably from your allies, from your friends and supporters in the Democratic Party, in the House and the Senate, that they're concerned you're going to lose the House and the Senate if you stay in, what will you do?
I'm not going to answer that question.
But bottom line, this is not a decision for Lord Almighty. This is a real world decision for real world people in politics and who care about our country to decide what we think is the best path forward. And it has to be the best path to give us the best chance of keeping Donald Trump in Project 2025 out of the White House.
At least 4 senior Democrats are publicly calling for President Biden to step aside as his campaign faces mounting pressure following that ABC News interview that was supposed to get him in better shape. Well, it didn't work.
So right after President Biden's interview aired Friday, you posted on X that he is dangerously out of touch. Why do you say that?
Well, because listening to the interview, he seemed to deny where he is in the race. He seems not to grasp what is the big concern that people have. You know, it's more likely that he'll lose by a landslide than win narrowly this race. And if the stakes are as large as he says, and I believe they are, then he really needs to consider what the right thing to do here is.
The American public is not going to move away from me as an average voter. And again, I'm here for 2 reasons, pal. One, to rebuild the economy for hardworking middle-class people, give everybody a shot. Just a straight shot. Everybody gets a fair chance, number one. Number two, remember all this talk about how I don't have the black support? Come on, give me a break. Come with me. Watch. I'm getting so frustrated by the elites. Now, I'm not talking about you guys, but about the elites in the party who they know so much more. But if any of these guys don't think I should run against me, go ahead, announce for president. Challenge me at the convention.
72% of voters say that they believe President Biden is too old. That's according to CNN's most recent polling. Voters have been saying this for quite a long time. The reality is that the Democratic elites are mostly late to acknowledge these age and ability issues compared to the rest of the public. The elites have been forced to reckon with it after the debate just 11 days ago.
Look at my career. I've not had many of those nights. It was a terrible night, and I really regret it happened. But the fact of the matter is, how can you assure you're going to be on faith that can intervene on your way to go to, work tomorrow? Age wasn't, the idea I'm too old.
The fact of the matter is, how can you assure you're going to be out on your way to go, work tomorrow? Age wasn't, the idea that I'm too old. Keep in mind, that soundbite is supposed to be reassuring to those Democratic supporters who have gone wobbly.
The Democrats are in complete disarray. There is today, there was a meeting at the House of Representatives with a small group of swing state Democrats, those over in the swing states. They had a little come to Jesus meeting today. And they say that it was like a funeral in that meeting, the people that was in the meeting. There was even people breaking down into tears. And because they were not happy that Uncle Joe will not get off the farm, and they don't know what to do. I'm told that in this meeting, it was like a funeral. There was literal tears. It was a come to Jesus meeting on Biden's path forward. These are swing state Democrats. The only 5 states that matter in the upcoming election. Never look at national polls ever. Look at those 5 polls. It'll tell you who's going into the White House. But one person that was in that meeting was a lawyer, and he said that everyone in that meeting was shell-shocked. And I'm going to tell you why they were shell-shocked in a minute. He said the meeting was very intense. And then another person that was in the meeting described it as unanimous that Joe Biden has to step down. Now, why does Joe Biden have to step down? Why? Because the media is turning against Biden suddenly. I mean, all of a sudden, the media had an epiphany that the media just turned honest overnight? Has anybody stopped to think who let the dog authorized the media to turn on Joe Biden? Who allowed it? Who pushed the button? Who pressed the buzzer? Who gave the order, take him out? Well, that's not hard to figure out. Barack Obama. I did a show, some of you may not remember it. I did a show about a year ago where I talked about Obama. I had a graphic of him holding the ear. He's controlling Biden. When Biden decided to run again, I said, because Biden was supposed to be a what? A one-term president. He was because she could never win on her own. If you'll remember, she was one of the first one that dropped out of the Democrat primary. She was so unpopular. So we're going to get Uncle Joe to glide Kamala in so she don't have to run. And then we're going to get Joe to drop out because he'll be 80 years old by then. The only problem is Uncle Joe quit taking orders not long ago. The man behind the curtain never intended for Joe Biden to run a second term. Joe Biden was bad. He actually attempted to think on his own, push the button, eject. He's got to go. Why? Because he wouldn't go when Obama told him to. The dark spirit that rules Barack Obama is running this nation, and their only fear is Donald Trump. Now, Joe Biden did make a brilliant move. I will give him that. This was back when he had a little brain cells left. He made a brilliant move by choosing Kamala Harris as his running mate. Why was that brilliant? Hold on, I'll tell you. Because I believe Biden foresaw, I believe Biden knew they was going to try to run him one term. So pick Kamala as your VP, because right now, ladies and gentlemen, if Joe had a VP that could win, does anybody think would still be running? Oh no, somebody would have gave him a heart attack. But now they're in a catch-22. Biden picked Kamala policy. Nobody wants her to run. They can't win. That means they won't, but there's nowhere for Joe to go. Kamala, because if you try to work around a black woman in America, oh, you're going to lose your whole base. So this is a game that they're playing. Let me show you the game. It's all smoke and mirrors. Watch this. So they all get together. They know that their only option is Kamala Harris. They don't want to do that. They didn't see, Biden was never supposed to do the debate. No one ever believed that Biden would debate Trump. Those that were planning his campaign was planning another basement campaign, a soundbite campaign. No one knew that the debate, well, that would even happen. When it did, the bottom begins to fall out of the ship, correct? So what do the powers that be decide to do? Well, if we can't get rid of him, because Obama realizes now, can't get rid of him, and if we stuck with Kamala, here's what we'll do. Here's what we'll do. Ring, ring, ring. Hello? Hello? Fake tapper? Hey guys, we need to turn the elites against Joe so that we can the Democrats that are not the elite to rise up and fight. We need to back out of Joe Biden that we know he is. So for anybody that thought that the media was turning against Biden, oh, no. Do you not understand? The media, by turning against Biden, is now causing everyone to pay attention to Biden again. I want you to think about this. 6 months ago, if Joe Biden would have been speaking on a television, you would have walked by and not even looked at the screen. That's how boring he is. Now, anytime he speaks, everybody's rushing to the TV to see if he's going to fall down. What's going to happen, right? This was their plan, to turn him into a victim and cause him to come back fighting, and the little Democrats to say, oh, the elites are turning on him. Well, if the elites are turning, we're going to stand up and fight for him. This is all their plan to rile excitement. And here's how desperate they are. They are so on Donald Trump because let me show you how desperate they are. This is today's talking points. Whenever talk about Obama is drowning out that Trump is Hitler, we've got a problem. It's time to turn back to Trump.
Trump cannot be president again. He's an existential threat to democracy. That's something that endangers democracy. That's what happened in the 1930s. The Germans just walked in line with Hitler and Stalin. They just walked in line. Democrats like to speak and think on behalf of the constituencies that they represent.
Look, I'd be happy if both the president and Donald Trump took cognitive tests.
So that's a yes. You think he should take a cognitive test?
They both should be willing to take a test. I think, frankly, a test would show Donald Trump has a serious illness of one kind or another.
It overshadowed all the lies President Trump told during that debate. Every time he opened his mouth, he said something insane or that was a lie. I mean,
and Donald Trump, a pathological liar who has advertised that he wants to endorse and mainstream political violence in this country.
That subordinates that are following orders from Donald Trump, for example, to do criminal acts would also not be prosecuted because they're just, quote, following directions, instructions, or orders. Nick, we saw that happen with Hitler. We saw that happen in Germany.
Okay, they say I'm having problems with my audio feed, so I've got a handy dandy backup here. Hang tight. Let's see if this is any better. It's probably just the internet at this hotel. Okay, we're going to try another microphone. I'll watch the screen. Y'all let me know. I'll let you know whenever it changes. Tell me if that one's any better. If not, I'll go back to the other one. That audio is any better. If it is, if it's not, I'll go back to the other microphone. Someone let me know. Oh, they said it's just my internet. Okay. And I really wasn't even going to do a show. The other was way better. Okay, hang tight. All right, I'll go back to the other one. Okay, what about now? What about now? What about now? I'm so sorry, guys. When I do them in a hotel like this, it's just difficult. Anything? No, can you hear me now? No sound. Okay, can you hear me? Great. Okay. Okay, we're back. Thank you. Right. Show you. Thank you. I want to show you how they're going to fit. How do they get out of this conundrum that they're in? How? Thank you. I'm looking at all your messages. Okay. Thank you. How are they going to get out of the Joe Biden? There's nowhere to go. Okay. My mother, who is a Democrat, she said, I'm just. So they know that. They already know not to put Kamala up. Okay. So how are they going to pivot? I'm going to show you. Okay. Follow me carefully. Here's how they're going to get out of their Joe Biden. I'm going to show it to you now. What they're going to begin saying over and over and over is that the election is not about personalities or persons, but it's about parties. So therefore, it doesn't matter. You're voting for a party. You're voting. How stupid talking points of Hitler. Somebody said I need to go slow. All right. Try not to talk with your hands. Okay. Sit still. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm going to sit very still. I'm not going to talk with my hands. So my signal is pretty bad, guys. I'm so sorry. I don't know what to do. I reckon I may just end the show tonight. I don't know what to do. But, okay, I can't move my hands. Don't move my hands and sit very still. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to move my hands and I'm going to sit very still. Carmine says, I act more Italian when I use my hands. Thank you, Carmine. All right, let me show you how they're going to pivot. They themselves are going to begin to make fun of Joe Biden. They're going to begin to teach you that, oh yeah, he's crazy. Yeah, absolutely. But it doesn't matter. We're not voting for a president. We're voting for a party, okay? Let me show you the proof of that. It's already started, okay? Watch.
If he's pooped his pants, I don't care if he can't put a sentence together. I have poopy days all the time. I step in so much poo you can't even imagine.
Democracy in America historically is a contest between parties, not necessarily personalities. And
did you hear it? Did you hear it? Contests now are between parties, not personalities.
Joe Biden is not that important.
Joe Biden is not really that important.
If the Democrats believe, and I think a lot of them sincerely do, that this is an existential threat to democracy and all of that stuff, whether I think some of that is overblown or not, doesn't matter. The only question to ask is shot at winning.
It's crucial that we maintain perspective. Whatever happens with Biden, whether he steps aside or stays the course, the Democratic nominee, any better option than the alternative, which is the downfall of American democracy. Rid yourself of the notion that this is simply a race between two parties. This is a fight to preserve our hard-fought freedoms. Biden's condition, whether it's tiredness or something else, is certainly called the principles of democracy. Our job as citizens is to choose democracy, whomever is carrying that flag into the next election.
Okay, so that's how they're going to pivot. Who is running? You heard Whoopi Goldberg. It doesn't matter if someone's wearing diapers. It doesn't matter if they cannot add 1 + 1. None of that matters. Okay? None of that matters. That's where we are. That's where we have devolved to in American politics. That is exactly where we are today, my friends. Later in tonight's show, if I can get through a complete show because of my internet, later in tonight's show, we're going to talk about Project 2025. We're going to talk about Trump's statements about that project, abortion, and all of those things, because so many people are confused, concerned, and I want to help you tonight, okay? But before we do, the National Convention for the Republican Party is 4 days away, and everybody's talking about vice president. I believe that I've whittled it down some. Of course, I don't know who it's going to be. I'm not a psychic. But I'll tell you who it cannot be, who it must not be. If President Trump chooses someone like Marco Rubio is establishment, meaning he's owned by special interest, by the establishment. If he picks someone that's owned by the establishment, meaning Mitch McConnell, owned by the establishment, he's ran by the Republican establishment, then here's what's going to happen. The minute Donald Trump takes his hands off the Bible, immediately he will have two sets of enemies now that will try to impeach him for the very first thing they can find: the Democrats and the establishment Republican Party. Because if they think they have an establishment vice president, they are going to do everything in their power to remove Donald Trump, put the establishment man in office. I believe Trump needs to pick someone as far out in MAGA field, if not farther than him, that will protect him from impeachment proceedings from the establishment. It's bad enough he's got to fight the Democrats. But if he's, I'm using my hands, I'm sorry. But if he chooses, if he chooses establishment, then he's shooting his own self in the foot. And I just believe that we're going to be shocked. That's really what I'm hoping and praying for. He needs a man or a woman, whoever's best for the job, that will literally be so far out there with him that the establishment won't like him. And so I just pray that President Trump makes the right choice. We all need to pray that he makes the right choice in this situation. I want to show you guys something that just came out not long ago that's going to vindicate President Trump. I don't know if y'all remember, but back when President Trump was in the White House, there was this narrative that was being pushed on the media that President Trump was mismanaging the COVID crisis. He was providing no solution to the pandemic. And of course, the COVID numbers had been hyped up to scare the population. That's what created the mail-in ballot nightmare. And Trump kept hoping that there would be some favorable results from the vaccine studies that would boost his public image in the election. You know, it was a pivotal time when, some good news would have helped his image. But he said, President Trump had a strong suspicion that the results of those tests were being held up on purpose. Let's go back and look at some of those tweets that he sent. He says, I have long said that Pfizer, this was back in 2020, would only announce a vaccine after the election because they did not have the courage to do it before. Likewise, the FDA should have announced it earlier, not for political purposes, but for saving lives. Now, here's another tweet. In July 2020, Trump said Big Pharma is taking television ads trying to make the case that I'm raising prescription drug prices on seniors. The ad is a lie. What I've done will lead to a 50% reduction in prices, and Big Pharma is not happy about it. Okay? Do you see a picture here? Big Pharma's ran millions of dollars of ads against me. And Pfizer and others have even decided to not assess the results of their vaccines. In other words, not come out with the vaccine until just after the election. So they waited and waited, and they thought they'd come out with it a few days after the election, and it would have probably had an impact if they would have happened. All of that Trump said was just hyperbole, according to the world. No truth to any of that. Until the minutes were released, secrets. I can pull it up for you exactly. Here it is. Now, this was found, the Robert Koch Institute, which was in a constant contact with the German government. By the way, Pfizer is connected to Germany. World Health Organization finally published the minutes of their pandemic meeting on May the 30th. And here is what we found. In quotes. Now, this is before the election. At this meeting with Pfizer, they said approval by the FDA before the United States elections is not desired, nor by the European authorities, which means that there will not be initial results before November, proving exactly. Trump was right about everything. Proving, Trump told us, read the tweets again, Trump told us in 2020 exactly what he Give me 1 second. My internet's bad right now. He told us in 2020 what was going on. Everybody thought he was crazy. Oh, he's just exaggerating. And sure enough, on May the 30th, we found out the truth that everything Donald Trump told us was exactly what happened. It's amazing that truth may be a long time coming, but when it comes, it does not take long. And there's the truth. From the horse's mouth, from the Robert Koch Foundation, the minutes of that meeting, Pfizer says we don't want the results to come out before the election. Why? It would have made Trump look good. And it would have impacted the election in a positive way towards Donald Trump. He was right, guys. Trump was right about everything. Now, this week, the Republican National Committee has been meeting all week to hammer out all of the new policy provisions of its platform. And they're going to unveil this at the convention in Milwaukee on July the 15th. Now, normally it's not big news when the Republican committee is working on the platform. You never hear about it. But you will this year because there have been some changes. And a lot of MAGA conservatives are concerned about these changes. I'm hoping tonight that I can help you alleviate, assuage some of your concerns. All right. First of all, Project 2025. Now, that is about 1,000-page document. If you've not looked at Project 2025 from the Heritage Foundation, I know you've heard about it because Donald Trump sent out a truth disavowing any association with Project 2025. And it caused many of you to be alarmed because there's some great things in Project 2025. However, it's 1,000 pages long. Okay? And it's been written by a bunch of think tank people, right-wing policy experts that runs the whole gamut of conservatism. All right? Now, suddenly, a platform that has not really changed at all in decades, suddenly, bam, they've changed it. They've taken out some key planks that's been in there for decades. Why the sudden change? Alarming. I agree. But why all of a sudden? I'll tell you why. Donald Trump is playing chess again. Donald Trump is playing chess again. Don't be a checkers player by second guessing the chess player. He is making a strategic move. And to many of us, ultra-conservative people, we don't like that move. And he's getting a lot of flack, okay? But I've taught you many times, Donald Trump must win this. This is the election, not of a lifetime, but I would say the lifetime of our nation. This election, 2024, By the way, if you add 4 plus 2 plus 2, you get 8. This is an election of new beginnings. 8 is the number of new beginnings. This election must be won. And I'll tell you who's not going to win it for him. His base. Okay? It's time for us to have a real heart-to-heart. The base alone will Trump back to Mar-a-Lago or jail. And you and I, we cannot be so adamant that we do not allow this man to widen his electorate. Sometimes you have to do what has to be done to do what needs to be done. I'll say that again, okay? With one hand tied behind my back. Sometimes you have to do what needs to be done to do what needs to be done. Donald Trump knows what's got to be done to win this election. You don't. I don't. He does. God has anointed his mind to win this election. Now, let me give you an example. If you were to go read the 2016 Republican National Convention platform, go back and look. You can go read it right now. Go read it. Here's what you will find in that document. You will find the word abortion 35 in the platform that is now being replaced. 35 times. Abortion, 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 abortion. All right. Now, there was also a desire in that platform to create a federal ban on abortion. That sounds wonderful. I'm all for it if it were possible. But everybody and their mama knows in a divided nation, it is not possible. Let me read to you what is stated in let's see. Here we go. We assert the sanctity of human life and affirm that the unborn child has a fundamental right to life which cannot be infringed. That is what Trump changed the wording to. That's what it says today. Donald Trump has done all of this, okay? Not the RNC, trust me. Let me read it to you again. Here is what the platform now says. Instead of 35 mentions of abortion, Donald Trump has taken this document and mastered it and put these words. We assert the sanctity of human life, and we affirm that the unborn child has a fundamental right to life which cannot be infringed. That's the Trump version. Let's rewind and let's read the 2016 version of the RNC platform. Quote, we support a human life amendment to the Constitution and legislation to make clear that the 14th Amendment protection applies to children before birth. That will never happen. Guess who knows that? Donald Trump. It is not smart to put that out there so that the enemy can display that on every TV screen. This is what Donald Trump wants. He wants to change the Constitution that no woman can have an abortion. Well, of course, we all want that, don't we? You know, I also want an Oreo cookie right now, but I don't need to have one. Now, the Republican platform has not changed since 2016. In the modern change that happened this week, the word abortion, instead of 35 times, is in there one time. And I love what it says. in the 2024 version, we proudly stand for families and the right to life. And here's how they worded it. We believe that the 14th Amendment to the Constitution guarantees that no person can be denied life or liberty without due process. What did Donald Trump do? He took out that we're going to add an amendment, and he said, we believe that every person, unborn or born, has a right to due process. And then it goes on to say the following: the states are therefore free to pass laws protecting those rights. Donald Trump has signaled the way forward to message our message on abortion. He has taken away the power of the left to hang him on this subject. Trump has been strategic about winning re-elections. And now he's trying to secure the Senate and the House with this move. Do you understand? He's playing chess. And for those of us that are too close-minded to grasp that, it's just like some of you. I'm going to be careful when I say this. Ramon Valcarcel is so correct. Trump, here, I'm going to put you up so everybody can see how smart you are. Trump restated the same truth in different words to keep the Democrats in, what is Trump saying? Exactly right. Donald Trump knows what he's doing. It should have always been the state's decision. Donald Trump has just reasserted the republic for which we stand. Ladies and gentlemen, let me show you how foolish it is for some of you to demand that, we're pro-life. You need to. Let me show you how it's just as ignorant. And I say that word not in a bad way. Ignorance is not a bad thing until it turns into stupidity. Ignorance is when you don't know, but after this class tonight, you're going to know. Then you won't be stupid, okay? No stupidity. No el stupidez. No el stupidez is allowed in Professor Toto's class. No el stupidez. Okay, watch this. Watch this. I have a podcaster, friend of mine. She used to have a podcast. Have you noticed, by the way, that all the Trump podcasters sort of disappeared, and now they're all starting to come back, again, but they went real quiet about Trump. You never heard Trump much after, the initial hoorah. Then they started going off and doing other stuff. And but now they're starting to come back because they want MAGA to come support them. But anyway, I digress. We've been here the whole 4 years, children. Day and night, same message, never changed. It's just as ignorant as this podcaster friend, and I hope she's not watching. I don't mean to call her ignorant. She was Trump. She was a Trump girl all the way. Rah, 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 MAGA, make America. She was there. I was actually on one of her podcasts as a guest. And lo and behold, on Facebook the other night, I look and she's singing RFK Jr.'s praises and that she's voting for RFK Jr. I wanted to throw up in my mouth. Let me explain something to all of you. We do not live in a make-believe world. We live in a real world. Now, in a make-believe world, there's more than two parties. Vote your conscience. Go vote for the best man. Vote. Oh yeah, I'm gonna vote for Sally Sue. I just like the way she ties her shoe. That's great. That all sounds marvelous. And I realize we were not supposed to be a two-party system. I get it. But baby, that ship sailed a long time ago. Do you understand that Bill Clinton would never have been the president of the United States of America if some of you would not have voted for Ross Perot? Do you understand that George Bush Sr. was a shoe-in to win that election? And that this nation would never have sat under Clinton, Hillary, Obama, or none of them if some of y'all would not have voted for Ross Perot, because I wanted to vote for the best man. It don't work that way. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It don't work that way. It's so ignorant. Well, yeah, but I think we ought to vote our conscience. Darling, listen to me. Listen to me. Put your ignorance aside. This is a two-party system. Do I like it? No. Do I wish it was like it was in the beginning? With me, absolutely. But bye-bye, old ship of Zion. It's gone. Thank you, Sister Elizabeth Brody. Anyone that voted for Ross Perot voted for Bill Clinton. Guys, listen to me. If anybody's trying to get you on that well, I like what he's got to say. Great. Subscribe to his podcast, pay him $20 a month, and listen to what he's got to say forever. But you are stuck in a system, and it's not time this year to become a revolutionary. Okay? There is one man alone that God has anointed to save this nation. Get out of the dream factory and get in the booth and vote red from top to bottom. All you people that's wanting to vote for RFK, you are voting for you're voting for Kamala Harris, because let me tell you all the plan for the Democrats. Now that they know they can't get rid of Joe, okay? So not last 2 more years. Look, they know it. Trust me, they know it. It doesn't matter. They know Kamala cannot win an election. Joe has more of a chance than Kamala. So let's go ahead and run Joe, let him win, and then, let him have a amnesia attack, and then all of a sudden, Kamala's president without ever having to run. Ladies and gentlemen, if you vote for RFK, you voted for Kamala Harris. Get back into reality, folks. If you know of anybody that's trying to convince you to vote for RFK, you've got to talk sense into their head. First of all, RFK has no moral compass at all concerning abortion or gay marriage or anything of that nature. All right? So, my friends, I plead with you. Now, let me talk more about why President Trump is not as strict on abortion as you would like for him to be. Number one, abortion comes from a culture of choices with no consequences. Back in the day, a woman would not give her body to a man as a young girl for fear of producing a child out of wedlock. All right, that was a great safeguard. There was a shame in our society for violating that sacredity of a child born in a marriage. Well, we decided that was out of date, old-fashioned, like we have all the discarded values of the past. And so now what happened was, now don't worry about it. Just do whatever you want to do. Do what you want to do. And go get an abortion. Great. This is adding to this culture of no consequences for your choices. Here's the deal. in a genteel society, in a polite society, in a civilized society, you make a choice, you suffer the consequences. So make good choices. So I am very pro-choice, very pro-choice. I believe if you choose to create a child, you cannot then choose to kill a child. Okay? In other words, if you made the choice to create a life, then you're not allowed to make a choice to kill what you created. Donald Trump believes the same thing, by the way. However, if you are a victim of another person's choice, rape or incest, if you are a victim of someone else's evil choice that you did not make, now the question becomes, should you have to bear the burden of someone else's choice? Donald Trump understands that you must give reasonable exceptions for abortion. And what he's doing, he's taking away the ability to rob the independent vote from him over abortion. He is outsmarting the smarty pants. Okay? I'm very pro-life. Oh my God, all the way. But I'm not pro-punishment, that you should bear the punishment of someone else's choice in your life. If someone raped you or incest was committed, I don't believe it's fair for society to say to that mother, now you must bear the consequences of their choice. You see, that's responsible. That is, where we need to come as a party. Because when you go in there talking about banning abortion no matter what, no exceptions, now you've just taken the middle ground that Donald Trump's got to get from and driven them to the left. Don't fall victim to that. Donald Trump didn't. Now don't you force him into your corner. Let the man win the White House. This is actually one of the smartest plays the Republican Party has made in a long time. What they have done, they have affirmed that GOP is pro-life. They've also affirmed at the same time that we are the party of decentralized power. We believe in life, but we also believe that's not for the federal government to get involved with. That should go back to the states. That's why we overturned Roe v. Wade. Roe v. Wade was not overturned because those justices are against abortion. That was overturned because it was bad law to begin with. It should never have been a federal decision. Either way, the federal ban should not be there, nor the federal approval. This is a states' rights subject. And every state, Donald Trump says, we believe in life, and now the states need to make laws that will protect those lives. Donald Trump is being the existential Republican because we are people of the Republic. In other words, what he's saying is that California and New York should not tell Mississippi and Kansas what they have to do with their unborn children. And I believe it was a great, great move. What he did, Donald Trump was not giving the Democrats anything to latch on to. He will not give them what they want. He knows it's unwise to make any more news on abortion than is necessary. So why do our pundits not shut up Let this man win the White House. And if you ever doubt his abortion credentials, I've got 3 words for you. Roe versus Wade. Now, why is he having to do this? Why is he distancing himself from Project 2025? Because he's brilliant. He's brilliant. Listen, guys, America can only be governed from the middle. That's it. He cannot win if he does not find some ground in the middle. He has emphasized that he's looking forward. He said in a statement, I know nothing about Project 2025. Hey, he's not lying. I didn't know anything about it until I read the 1,000-page. Who's got time to read 1,000 pages? He said, I have no idea who's behind it. I disagree with some of the things they're saying. Whoopee, I agree with many things that are in a good book. He said some of the things they're saying is absolutely ridiculous. What is he referring to? That federal ban on abortion. Why? Because he's got another debate coming up. He don't need them asking the question. In Project 2025, it says here that y'all are for banning abortion. And he can say, I don't have nothing to do with that. So where are we at? I'll tell you where we're at. Trusting Donald Trump's track record is where we're at. And his ability to implement conservative policies once he's reelected. Did he do that before? That's the question. Last time in office, did he implement conservative policies? Did he do what he promised he would do? Did he get rid of Roe v. Wade? That's what you're going to have, track record. And let him say what he right now. He's not trying to win a battle. He's trying to win a war. And let's never forget his promise that on his first day in office, he'll begin the largest deportation plan in the history of our nation. Let us not forget that. Us not forget what he's done before, he'll do again. Sit back, MAGA. Relax. Because I promise you, help is on the way. Thank you for watching tonight.
If tomorrow all the things were gone I worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife, I'd thank my lucky stars to be living here today.
'Cause this flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea.
From Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA,
there's pride in every American heart.